Hi, it's Akeem. Welcome back to Friday's edition of Let's Talk. Today we're going to go in depth about our mindsets on relationship and how we approach them and ways that we can improve them. I'm going to start today with a quote that most of us have already heard plenty of times before. You cannot change, you cannot solve a problem with the same mindset that started it. Albert Einstein. It's one that we've heard plenty of times and through, but it's one I don't think many of us have grasped because a lot of us go into all of our relationships with the same mindset, whether it's a work relationship, a friendship, or a romantic relationship. A lot of it we center around ourselves and forget that a relationship is two people. The issue with this is I was reading on that there's a study that shows that the lack of meaningful relationships is more harmful to us than obesity and the lack of exercise combined. Which, when you think about that, especially in America, those are two of our leading causes of death. So when you add in the fact of not having healthy relationships, I think that adds to that, whether it's the mental health aspect or I think it's a direct trigger to not working out, overeating, is trying to find other ways to feel good and fill that void of the missing companionship, love that comes with being with people and the being connected. Um, One of the things that I read is that 50% of cohabitating relationships fail, and that's romantic relationships and relationships through where it's roommates. Those relationships, every time people who are friends or lovers or have any type of relationship move in together, those relationships, half of those relationships end up failing, and when they move out, they are no longer on speaking terms. And this is a great problem because this continues to create separation. And I think the biggest point in this is the lack of communication. Um, so right now, I'm going to hit into 4 habits that to help improve your relationship. The first one will be curious, not critical. When you don't understand something or you can't wrap your head around things that are going on, ask questions before we condemn and attack, whether it's a friendship, a partner, or a coworker. These things right here create a lot of turmoil because one, the person who's on the receiving end of the criticism doesn't appreciate it, and then they feel a lot of times feel like they're being belittled. And then on the other hand, you doing the criticizing, you're not allowing yourself to learn and be open to new ideas and the way that a person thinks. Each of us are our own individual people and have our own path that we lead, and we do things a certain way based on our past and other ways we've developed. So instead of criticizing people for things, ask questions and become curious because that can create a connection to where it'll strengthen the relationship versus create tension and pull it apart. The second one, be careful and not crushing. This is really big in conflict. When you're arguing with your partner, which is healthy, the lack of arguments in relationships shows a lack of passion. And that right there alone shows that is one of those things that makes people feel unwanted. I've definitely been guilty of this in relationships to where I have my mind set on things and I've had experiences that make me think a certain way when certain things happen. And after that, I would take that into every relationship. And when something similar happened, I responded the same way. This is something now that I've learned that I cannot do in order to maintain relationships, whether it's with a partner, whether it's with a friend. And this is something that I think we all need to do when it comes to us clashing with the people we care about and maintaining and strengthening relationships. The third one is ask, don't assume. This one, I feel like as a man, I feel like I'm misunderstood a lot when I say things. I'll say something and people will create their own interpretation of it. And I will always say, I mean what I say and I say what I mean. I don't sugarcoat things unless it's meant to be sweet. I'm not going to give you an ulterior statement to bring you into something else. I don't like the confusion, nor do I want you to try to figure out what I'm saying. And I think that's something that we all could use is to, instead of us assuming something meant something. A person's statement said something. A person's facial expression. Because one thing we have to acknowledge in communication is that about 60% of it is nonverbal. So we have to acknowledge that when we respond to those nonverbal cues, that we're asking and not assuming what those mean if we aren't directly sure about what the statement is. And then also, even if we are directly, you feel like you're very sure about what that person meant, you should still speak on it. You should still ask to make sure you're right and create clarification. And that alone, right there, can stop a fight and lessen tension within a relationship. This is one I think applies a lot when it comes to work and our romantic relationships, especially interacting with your superiors, your coworkers, especially in like the service industry, where if things aren't clear, someone will assume this meant something, and then all of a sudden, a day is on a downhill spiral because now instead of communicating, one person did what they assumed, and it created a bigger problem because of a miscommunication that could easily be solved with a simple question asking for clarification. The fourth one is connect before you correct. A lot of us are big on correcting people statements because we've learned something, we went to school for it, we have a vast knowledge in that field or the background. It's something that we've been through a lot. So a lot of times we're quick to correct people when they may not have meant what we thought they were trying to say or do. And then also when correcting people, it comes off more as aggressive and condescending at times, where it feels like you're belittling people because the way you approach it. A lot of us approach things where we're correcting people, and it's more of a condescending tone or a condemning tone, and that can make or break the situation. So if we can learn to connect instead and say, hey, I can relate to this in that way. Is this something that is this what you're experiencing? And then that can create a better bond and allow for growth and allow for growth in the relationship and a stronger bond throughout your communication. And then it also allows people to be softer with you. I think a lot of us right now, especially like with the eras we've gone through, I remember like right when I was graduating high school in 2010, it was the big fuck your feelings era. Oops, I almost slipped into some feelings, like those type of things, like, and then the Drake song that went super popular, even though I personally feel like you sound like a 12-year-old girl when he's hollering no new friends, no new friends. As you grow, you should always meet new people. The more people you meet and who have different mindsets allow us to all grow and create different ideas that can expand us personally and us. Whether it's us personally, it can also expand us at work to where it allows for your job to be more lucrative or more rewarding personally, and then those things alone allow for you to feel free and connect with more people a lot easier. The other thing with that connection thing is what people go where they're people go where they're accepted, and they stay where they're appreciated and feel valued. So that's another one. A lot of us stay in situations just because we're accepted there. But the big thing is to go where you are appreciated and valued. Those things alone make you, like, whether it work. When you feel appreciated and valued, you're often more apt to come in on a day off. You'll stay and help a coworker. You'll also be the one who has to train someone during your shift, if that's something that you do at work. And those things right there allow for a better connection, and then it allows you to grow within that environment and within yourself. So with that, I want us to, going into the weekend, I want us to kind of focus on those things. I'm going to run through them really quick again. First, be curious, not critical. That's a big one. 2, be careful, not crushing. You never really want to hurt people or make them feel smaller than what they are. We are all going through our own internal battles and dealing with things, so try to be gentle with people. The third one, ask, don't assume. Like the old saying goes, assumptions make an ass out of you, not me. And so at the end of the day, you will end up looking like an ass because you assumed somebody meant something and you were wrong, and you could have clarified it with a simple statement or question. And then fourth, connect before you correct. A lot of us like to be right. It's not always about being right. Sometimes you just shut up and bite the bullet because the relationship is worth more than proving your point. And later on, you can come back and visit that. So I want to end this video with one of my favorite poets, Maya Angelou. This one was her just a statement she said, and it goes, "I am grateful to have been loved and to be loved now and to be able to love, because that liberates. Love liberates. It doesn't just hold, that's ego. Love liberates. It doesn't bind. Love says, I love you. I love you if you're in China. I love you if you're across town. I love you if you're in Harlem. I love you. I would like to be near you. I'd like to have your arms around me. I'd like to hear your voice in my ear, but that's not possible now. So I love you. Go." Take that with you this weekend, and I hope you all have a safe weekend. Stay warm and be careful. You're going to be outdoors. The roads are still a little slippery, sidewalks, everything. You guys all have a great evening, and sending peace, love, and light to you all. And let's bridge the gap in communication and come together and start eliminating this unnecessary divide that we have. See you guys next week.